think you're encroaching on
today's news. Nobody used to do that on the news. Today's news. They don't do that anymore, do they?
No,
I think we need to start discussing what we're going to do in the pre-Papa roundup because he's.
When do we ever discuss it?
No, I think we start needing to. He's starting to do weird stuff.
Well, maybe just sit down.
Starting.
Maybe just sit down and Papa straight away.
Yeah, just Papa.
Papa, 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 Papa.
Popcorn Pundits.
Episode 73.
Number 73.
Oh, do you remember that?
Number
This is going to be a really long.
There's somebody at the door.
episode.
There's somebody. That's what they used to do, wasn't it?
They did used to do that.
All the time. We're not old enough. You're not old enough to remember that.
Did any of them fiddle with children?
I hope
I
not.
don't think they did because they're on ITV.
This
No,
is
I
the wrong
think.
podcast
No, I
to
think.
discuss this.
I think one of them now actually presents a BBC Two program called QI.
Do they?
She was.
Was she?
She was. Look it up. Anyway, it's your Popcorn
Very
Pundits.
interesting.
Yeah, I've got another fact for you in a minute as well. Don't you know? It's your Popcorn Pundits. It's our trio of cinema lovers ensuring that you are enjoying the cinema screens as much as you should be. And also your cinema screens at home also.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that we should leave this episode here. Before we... It's got that feeling.
I'm on fire!
It's got that feeling today that
Wow.
this might go slightly off tangent.
It could do. We start with the top 10 in the UK charts. We also review a film that we've seen at the cinema. Some of us have been to the cinema, some haven't been to the cinema this week. Peter also does his homework. Nikki does her fantastic sequel feature. And then we're going to encourage you to go to the cinema at the end of the month as well. Yes, Peter.
I have actually done my homework this week.
Have you?
I've done it.
Well done, you.
I'm a good boy.
You are a very good boy.
Yeah.
Yes. Nikki, do you have anything else to add before we start?
No, let's kick off with top 10.
Right then.
This is a real backdrop behind Nikki
Isn't
as
it?
well.
It's amazing, isn't
It's
it?
really gorgeous. What a lovely vista to look at.
A Vista.
It's just my halo.
Yeah.
You're a Vista.
Number 10. Oh, hello. Fidelio. It's a Met Opera 2025 opera. It's not a movie.
It's not a movie.
Set in Seville towards the end of the 18th century during the time of political upheaval following the French Revolution.
We all know Fidelio. Come on,
I
chop,
didn't.
move on. 9-9 the Monkey, James's favourite comedic horror movie.
Kill them all.
9-9.
They will all die! Number 8, Mufasa. It's got a colon, The Lion King.
Kill them all.
Oh, we could do this a lot. Oh, literally, number 7, The Last Breath. Tell us about Last Breath, Nikki.
Kill them all.
Woody Harrelson, Underwater.
Oh, yeah, that one again.
It's a true story of seasoned deep-sea divers who battle the raging elements to rescue a crewmate who's trapped hundreds of feet below the ocean's surface.
Much better, thank you, James. No slurpy slurping. Lovely.
Oh, I thought he was going to
Number
say
6,
kill them all.
Dog Spaceman.
Yes.
Not Dog.
Dog Spaceman.
The animated version.
Spaceman.
Yes.
Number 5, Captain America, Brave New World.
Do you know what? Apparently that has raked so much money, more than we'd ever possibly think it would do.
Oh, around about £395,421.
Do you think so?
Somewhere around about
That's a nice
Something
guess
around.
there.
No,
Like
that's
that.
just
Yeah, exactly.
this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else you got for us?
Number 4, Marching Powder. One
Marching
of the films
Powder.
you haven't gone to see, which is why you're not allowed back in the cinema ever again.
It's like Danny Dyer was inside you.
Oh, I love that. I don't know, did it with like a one-eyed
Yeah.
thing. That's what that was about. Number 3 is the film we're supposed to be reviewing tonight. I will be. It's Black Bag. James didn't go because he's still banned from the cinema.
That's right. Makes it sound really serious, doesn't it?
It is really serious.
like
It is
It's like
serious.
I'm on
you
remand.
loved it.
You didn't bother to tell them 3 times that you
no.
weren't going to something that you booked. And more importantly, you didn't bother to tell me that you weren't going
That's
to
very
see
true.
something that you'd booked.
I know, I should
Number
tell you.
2, Bridget Jones, Mad About the Boy.
I bumped into a mutual friend of ours on the street as he was on the way to the Ivy, and he said that this was an incredibly emotional movie and he felt very connected to it.
Who was that?
Crispin. Hi, Crispin.
Hi, Crispin.
Hi, Crispin.
Carry on.
Number 1, Mickey 17, which we reviewed last week.
Yes.
And I've had subsequent reviews from other people who've been to see it who thought it was a bag of shit.
Well, they're wrong.
No, they're not wrong.
It's
not
subjective.
They're not wrong, James.
They might be.
So it's only subjective if it's my opinion.
Of course.
Everyone else is.
Yeah.
It's
You're
just
allowed.
right.
You're given some
Yours
leeway.
is right, mine's
Yeah.
subjective.
That's right.
And that's this week's top 10 in UK and Ireland up until the 17th of March 2025.
What mark did we give Nikky 17? We gave Nikky 17 8.8, so we're definitely encouraging people to go to the cinema to watch
Absolutely,
that.
100%. Really, really great film. I mean, if you're a Bridget Jones fan, you've got to go and see this one. Apparently, this is the best of the Bridget Jones movies,
Probably
especially
the last
better than
one.
number 2.
Well, Nikky did go and see it, so actually she did encourage people. I went to see Captain America. Wasn't that fussed by it, but to be fair, if you're a Captain America fan, do you want to see it? I'm not going to stop you.
I think most Captain American fans would be quite disappointed by it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I would agree.
But anyway, there we go.
There you
Don't
go.
bother marching powder.
But do go and see The Monkey.
And don't go
Definitely.
and see Last Breath either, because it looks like a bag of nonsense.
Right, so there you go. That's
Avoid
your top
anything
10.
with a colon.
We've stopped. I think The Monkey had lots of colons flying around, but
Yes,
they were
it
inside
did.
out.
So I thought you were going to go back to Christian again. But...
No.
Righty-ho.
So there you go. That's your top 10 at the cinema.
And this is where this episode's going to go slightly out of left field, isn't it? Because we're not
Yes.
actually going to discuss movies. We're going to diatribe our movies.
That's
However,
right. Yes.
Oh,
you
yeah.
had a fact for
Oh,
us.
I
yes.
did.
Thank God we got a producer because
I
you
did,
were
I
so excited to tell us and you
I
forgot.
did. So, you need to get your IMDb out so you back me up with some facts. So,
Thanks for the heads up, Jake.
So over the weekend, so over the weekend, we were sitting down watching a couple of movies, and it's very rare that our son has the time or the effort or the patience to sit down and watch an entire movie with us from start to finish. And he's attempted to watch this movie with us several times, to the point where we pretty much gave up hope at one point. And last night he turned around and go, right, let's sit down and let's watch Civil War. Okay. So we sat down and watched Civil War, and we liked Civil War a lot.
Mm-hmm.
However,
You liked it a lot.
I liked it a lot, and in fact, I thought it was actually better the second or third time around that I watched it. It was actually the ending was a lot more emotional. I thought, for me personally, when I was watching it. Fantastic film, Andy Garland, amazing director. However, the male lead role in it, who was the assistant of Lee Miller's character, okay, the South American character. Do you know what else he played?
Oh, mate, I can't remember that.
Pablo Picasso. He was Pablo from not Pablo, but Pablo from Narcos.
Oh, okay.
He was him.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah, it looks completely different.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What a wonderful fact. That's what we've
You're not blown away by that at all, are you?
No, not as much as you
He
are.
looked-
You've been bleating on
He
about it
looked
for like the last
so
hour.
different, so different.
Almost like he was an actor.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, that's my
Why
fact.
is she
Why
IMDb
do you
in this
need to-
shit?
Well, I just wanted to make sure I got the name right and make sure I got it right
Wasn't Pablo
completely.
Picasso.
No, it wasn't Pablo.
All in all, I think that was a roaring success, James.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
Tune in next week
Yeah, we want to encourage people to
for
listen.
more interesting facts from James's Corner.
Oh God.
Excellent.
He needs to be put in a corner.
Okay, should we crack on with some movie reviews?
Let's do
Yes.
that. Peter McPete, you went to see Black Bag.
I want to see Black Bag.
Hmm.
Now, you know that I wasn't really looking forward to this.
I do know.
Because I've kind of
You've
had
given
enough.
up on Michael, haven't you?
I've had too much of Michael Fassbender. It's like he won't turn down a movie at the moment, and the majority of them have been pretty damn average, to be totally honest with you. Kate Blanchett, I've always really liked, but in this trailer, she kind of looks like she's supposed to be the femme fatale, and I just didn't buy it to the degree that she kind of strips down to her lingerie in the trailer.
Yep.
And she's wearing granny pants, and I'm just like, do you know what? It just doesn't strike a chord with me. And this also has how do you pronounce Reggie Jean Page from Bridgerton? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah,
the main
that's how I
character.
pronounce
Yeah,
it.
go for it.
cool,
That's how
okay.
we
He's in
pronounce
it.
Yeah.
I hated Bridgerton,
Right.
and I was just like, oh, he's just a bit smarmy and a
Funny,
bit
my wife
annoying.
was watching it yesterday.
However, this does have Marissa Abella, who was in what's the TV program called? Can't remember. Can you just Google what she was in? She was in a really great Sky series or Netflix series. And yeah, I really like her as an actress. So I kind of went into this thinking,
Sorry.
Mixed feelings.
Isn't she the lady who played Amy Winehouse in Black
she was.
Back?
Yeah, she was.
Was
as
she
well.
in Industry?
She was in the industry, yeah, absolutely. And I saw her in the Amy Winehouse film, and I thought she was all right. I didn't think she was fantastic, but yeah, in industry, I thought she was actually fantastic. Naomi Harris from Bond.
Yes.
Yes, it's a good old cast.
It
in
is a
this.
very good cast.
And
Where's it set?
It's set in London, isn't it?
Is it? Didn't
It's
know.
set in London.
I didn't know. I thought it might have been set in New York.
Yeah, and directed by Steven Soderbergh,
Mm-hmm.
sort of Sex, Lies and Videotapes fame. And
But he's usually a good friend of George Clooney, isn't he? They like to do a lot of collaborations together, don't they?
So I went into this at 9 o'clock on a Sunday evening after I had a very, very busy day.
You did.
And I got myself a peppermint tea.
Yeah.
And I sat down
in preparation.
This film's 1 hour 33 minutes.
It's not too bad then, is it? It's quite shorter than the average horror movie.
I think that's shorter than any film we've reviewed in the last 2 years. I think that's the shortest film that we've ever been.
I like that. That might
to
be a
see
good
and review.
fact.
Anyway, so I went to see it.
Yes.
And Michael Fassbender's bloody brilliant in this.
Oh.
Like he's like really, really good.
Is he on point? Is he?
He's on point, and he's basically playing a British intelligence spy type character.
Yeah.
And the basis of this story is it's very much the same as Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So there's basically got two spies as a married couple.
Yeah.
And they are both working for the.
Is it Pierce Brosnan, isn't it?
Pierce Brosnan is in it as well. Yeah, he plays like the head honcho of the MI6 or whatever.
Does he wear smart suits?
Oh my God, James! The tailoring in this, you are literally going to spunk your pants.
I heard about
this.
this.
There is a pair of trousers in there which you've made for me, with that waistband that goes
Really?
right round
See,
to like to
I'm
the
like ahead of the
hip
curve.
You're a year ahead of the curve.
I always am.
Absolutely epic. Yeah, Pierce Brosnan's double-breasted suit in this, absolutely on point.
Man has had to wear a suit, doesn't he?
Fassbender basically is cooking and gets a tiny splash of sauce on his cuff.
Yeah.
And basically interrupts the serious conversation. Goes, I've got to go and get changed. Sartorial fashion
like him.
in this is really, really important. And the whole elegance of the movie is actually really, really on point.
Okay.
So yeah, we are supposed to think these are
Slick.
very, very slick, cool, stylish people. It's got that kind of is he Bond, is he not Bond type of feel about it. He's not Bond. The only thing I would say,
He'd make a good Roger Moore, I think.
okay. I don't think that's how Bond works. I don't think they put a new actor in to play one of the old
I
ones.
think they do. That's
I
what they
don't think
slip
they
him
do.
inside.
I've seen the mix of Bonds.
But anyway, so basically, there's a meeting. Is basically found out that there is a spy in the
is there?
next, just as a shock.
Right. There's
Plot.
a spy in the spies.
Yes, exactly. And they're trying to work out who it is. And then Michael Fassbender is basically, it's said that he is the master of polygraphs, that you can't basically lie to Fassbender. It's
Wow.
impossible. No one can lie to
I
him.
could never lie to Fassbender. When I look into his eyes,
Yeah, I could.
I just melt.
Yeah, I found out how to do it as well. You just have to clench your rectum. That's it.
Really?
Yeah, apparently that's the best way to do it.
I'm doing it right now.
You'll find that all you always are, James. But anyway, so basically they invite all of the main protagonists. I pulled that back.
I know, I did
from
notice
the
that.
realms
I was
of
relishing in that.
dyslexic fuck bubble that we are.
Yes.
Did
Did he do it in a...
All right,
did he-
jumping on the dyslexia
Did they do it in
bandwagon.
front of a fire in a stately home?
No,
Ah.
it's in a really cool house in
Okay.
West London.
I brought you all here today.
And they basically drugged them all, with a truth serum type drug, and the conversation goes very, very funny.
Oh, really?
And basically they're all very, very honest and far too honest.
All right,
and
okay.
they're set out to play a game, which is basically supposed to help Fassbender work out who's lying, who's telling the truth, whatever. But that isn't the conclusion of what's
Okay.
going on. That's the beginning of the conundrum.
Okay, right.
And we kind of go on from there. And we're trying to work out who the mole is, what the story is, what the problem is, and what the kind of solution to this whole thing is.
Now, I do know from the trailer
Yes.
that they are insinuating that it may be his wife, played by Kate Blanchett, as the spy within the spies. And that's in the advert.
I didn't get that from the
Yeah,
film.
that's in the advert.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
Yes. So that is one avenue of
But
plot
don't give it
that we're
away.
talking about. I'm not going to give anything away. I'm stopping there in the movie because you might be allowed back in the cinema at some point in the future. You're going to watch it. We're going to discuss it. Now, okay. Well, I'm going to tell you my opinions.
Please.
Of it. So this is a film which is 1.33 hours long.
Yep. Yeah.
And there's a reason for it. The plot is waffer thin,
Oh,
and it is a little bit style over substance.
Okay,
which
well, we don't mind that sometimes.
I do.
Yeah,
I mind that a lot. However, this kind of feels to me like the pilot episode of a Netflix series.
Okay.
It kind of feels like we're getting to know the
They're
characters.
finding their way almost.
Yeah, we're learning who they are,
Yeah.
and it's almost over before it's begun.
Okay.
Now, I'm quite disappointed about that because actually I thought everything about this was brilliantly put together. I love the style of it. I
Yeah.
love the acting in it. I love the casting in it. Pierce Brosnan is that kind of like senior role.
Yeah.
He's that age now, and he
Yeah.
plays it so brilliantly
He does.
well. And the mix of characters in this was absolutely phenomenal. It's so good. And then just basically just talking about the life of spies, how you can basically not really have a relationship within that within that group because they're all a bunch of lying fuckers.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can't really have a relationship out of it because it's frowned upon, and like you could be counterintelligence.
Exactly. Yeah.
So like you've got really really interesting kind of avenues and threads to this film.
Yeah.
There's just not enough of it.
Interesting.
So what could we do to make this film better, Nikki?
Add Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, we could do that, or
Give it another half an hour.
we could just give it another hour.
Yeah.
Or it could have been a TV series, and it does also feel production-wise a little bit TV series for me as well.
Interesting.
So I came out thinking, oh my god, that was so much better than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, good.
But it did lack one major important thing that most films are supposed to have, which is a good plot.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm going to leave it there because I want to hear what you want to say.
Yeah. So I'm assuming there's almost an element of Eddie Redmayne's new television series, the Assassin remake of the what's it called again? It's called it was a remake of the 1970s spy movie where he plays an assassin. That's a lot of that is very stylistic.
The Day of the Jackal.
Exactly so. Thank you very much.
It's nothing like that.
Isn't it?
It's nothing like that at all. So
I
get where you're coming from, but no, this is set out to be, and it feels like they're trying to franchise up a new Bond or Bourne.
Oh, really?
And I wouldn't. I mean, I don't think they are going to produce another one. I'll be surprised if they do. But it feels to me like this is the
like an intro.
creation. Yeah, it feels like an introduction.
Yeah.
And it was a very good introduction.
Hear all the characters,
episode.
and then they almost leave you with nothing at the end.
I want more. I just wanted so much more.
Oh, well, it's good to know, though. I mean, I'd rather have you wanting more than walking out going to give me too much. I didn't want it.
I honestly dreaded this. I just thought I was going to just go. Thank God it's only an hour and a half, and I didn't check my watch once the whole way through it.
Was the cinema full?
The cinema was not full, but 9 o'clock on a Sunday.
Yeah,
that's
it's a difficult
late
ask,
show.
isn't it?
And when I left,
Yeah.
I reckon there were 10 people in there, and 4 of them were asleep when I left.
Wow.
Yeah, I've never seen that ever, and it wasn't because the film was pap. It's just basically because it's too late on a Sunday. And they did have a couple of glasses of red wine, so I mean that's got nap written all over it, hasn't it? So anyway, really pleasantly surprised.
Oh, good.
Compared to what I was expecting. But I'm going to give this a 7. It's
no, I think it's a valid score.
And I wanted it. This could have been a mid-8s movie.
Soundtrack?
I can't remember it.
Okay.
Which isn't a bad
Never
thing.
really
Isn't a good
registered with
thing.
your soundtracks, do they, usually? I think you like them at the time, but you never really walk away with them in your head.
I don't know. No, and you're so musical, and I must admit, whenever you kind of mentioned the soundtracks of film, I'm like, oh yes, that was really good.
That
but
worked.
I don't.
It shows up for the right reason.
I need to find a way of making notes when we're watching these movies.
Well, take your phone out. I'll have a word with you.
No, I need one of those like kids' light boxes. Like when you put like a crayon on it, it glows in the dark. I need one of those. You wouldn't like that, would you?
An Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I need. That's what you need. One of those next sketch.
But yeah, so this is a really lovely surprise.
So
And this is what I love about cinema, is you can dread a film and turn up, and actually it's a lot better than you thought it
And
was.
sometimes it happens the other way around.
100%.
Yep, absolutely. Well, we've done that many times, haven't we? So this is a frog that you kissed, and it came out all right.
Yeah.
Not brilliant, but came out all right.
I'm trying to think of a mid-attractiveness animal that it turned into.
Not quite a unicorn, more a horse.
It turned into an otter.
Yeah, I quite like one. Holding that little babies in his chest.
Yeah, that's a sea otter.
Yeah.
No, that would be a sexy animal.
And otters hold hands.
And they hold
so
hands,
don't
don't
float.
they?
Yeah,
Yes,
sea
so they don't
otters. Sea
float
otters are the
apart.
best animals on the planet. What are the 3 best animals on the planet, James?
Otters.
Sea otters.
Yeah. Unicorns. And and
unicorns are in one of the top.
Yeah.
You're going to
They're
bring a
number 2.
fictional
Number
character,
2.
creature into.
How do you know
the
they're
top 3.
fictional?
yeah, how do you know they're fictional?
Why
And
are you so aggressive?
It's,
Where did that come from?
because it's the animal of my country. It's the animal of Scotland.
Shut up!
Yeah.
This is nonsense. I can't believe you. Oh, that's why you got aggressive, because you're Scottish.
yeah, aggressive. Anyway,
Right.
what's the third animal?
Huh?
What's the third animal?
Giraffe.
Okay, obviously.
Cute. Would you like some facts?
Yes, please.
Spy and intelligence agencies in real life actually employ therapists, psychologists, and psychiatrists.
This is Naomi What's-Her-Face's role in it. She's brilliant.
So yeah, the character, obviously, Dr. Zoe Vaughan, is played by Naomi. She is a spy. She is the spy organisation's in-house shrink. The screenwriter David Keop commented, "It was fascinating to learn that many large intelligence organisations have a therapist or psychiatrist on the staff. It makes complete sense because you don't want to have agents go and talk to anyone
outside of work.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, so if you think Billionaire, like you know the TV series, it's that kind of plays that kind of character where basically, and obviously because she is, she has conversations with people who are talking about
Really sensitive stuff.
really sensitive
Yeah.
things. She is obviously one of the suspects.
Of course she is.
The spy movie's plot, story, and narrative are said to have been inspired by Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
Interesting. Okay.
And it's sourced stage play by playwright Edward Albee.
Did it feel a bit stagey? Did it feel a bit playy?
No, I told you what it felt like, James. You should have paid attention.
Yeah.
The National Cybersecurity Centre, NCSC, is an actual real-life British intelligence and surveillance government agency in England. It's part of the Government Commission headquarters, the GCHQ. It's the main intelligence organisation in the UK and is similar nature to the NSA, which is the National Security Agency in the USA.
Nice. Thank you very much for that. Good.
Did you know? Oh, sorry, go on, Peter. I thought you were going to say something.
I was just going to ask: does IMDb have the playlist, or does
It does, yeah. So scriptwriter consulted with real life spies, assets, agents, and operatives in order to write this spy movie. Imagine talking to a real spy.
Yeah.
you wouldn't know?
We probably have done.
We could be doing that right now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So the
I reckon it's Nikky.
IMDb has the soundtrack.
Okay, I'll have a look later on. I'll see if there's anything good
Okay.
on it. I'll let you know next week,
And
James.
did you know?
Yeah.
This is a completely random fact. In Albania, there is a museum called the House of Leaves, and it's a museum about all like spying and surveillance.
Is it?
It's really cool.
The House of Leaves.
It's really cool.
Is it written on the outside, or do you have to find it? Is it kind of like a mystery?
Is
I
it
can't
underneath?
disclose that information, unfortunately.
So I've brought my polygraph with me.
It's in a
I'll
pile.
get it out of you, unless you've got your rectum clenched.
So that's so you're giving it a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. Lovely stuff. Thank you very much.
We have had an anonymous reviewer, haven't we, James?
Yes, we have.
What?
We've had an anonymous reviewer.
We did.
Who James was on the phone to the other day.
That's right.
And they said
We can't say who it is. You won't
we'll
let
tell
me
you
say
when
his
the
name.
recording's finishing.
Yeah.
And they gave it 8.5 out of 10.
They
This
did.
film?
They did.
Yes.
Yep. In fact, I saw him on Friday night. He was getting very, very excited about it, and I said, "Not too sure about the advert." Because I wasn't too sure about the advert either. And he went on to tell me that how much he loved it, and he gave it 8.5.
Wow.
Peter's now trying to work out who was there Friday night.
Yeah. So anyway, so there you go. Thank you very much,
That's okay.
anonymous giver of scores.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing what you got to say about it, because I think you're going to love the style of this film.
Okay.
I think you're going to find it sexy as.
So there you go. There you go. Thank you very much for your review. So, over the weekend, I had the opportunity of watching a streamed movie with our fellow producer, Nikky. It's a film that's been released recently. Yeah.
You were rock climbing, I think.
Yeah. You see it at home on streaming. Anyway, so it is the.
We could have all talked about this together for the first time ever.
We could have done.
You didn't invite me.
I'm sorry.
You'd already told us you were busy.
You were hanging off a rock, love. Anyway.
Or at golf or something.
I can imagine you in a very sort of like Tom Cruise sort of way. With a vest on. With the music in the background.
You know that bit where Tom Cruise goes down there and stops just in front of the floor? I do that, but I go straight to the floor.
No,
there's no stopping. Just
you do that, and with one foot in your hand, and you go, and you hold yourself up like this, and the music starts, and you do your hair. Anyway, so this film is called Electric State. It is it's reported to have cost $320 million to produce. Okay,
Right.
Which is possibly the most expensive movie that Netflix have ever budgeted for.
Is it?
And I'm not really au fait about how much movies cost, but that does sound like an awful lot of money. And everybody keeps talking about how much this movie has cost to make.
Isn't that the general cost of everything, kind of Marvel and all that type? That sounds like a pretty.
Yeah, but that's a cinema release movie, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but Netflix is bigger than cinema now.
Well, I don't know. Anyway, so there's an open discussion about how Netflix are making movies at the moment.
Okay.
And people are becoming either increasingly upset with how Netflix are making movies, because they're making it for a very particular market, and that market is for people who are at home doing domestic chores while they're watching films.
Right.
Okay, so so the theory is that what they're doing is they're making movies that are watchable over and over and over again. So the story plot isn't overly complicated, but it's easy enough to watch. They keep reminding you about the plot and about the subplot and about the characters all the way through the movie. So if you want to make a cup of tea, if you come back 10-15 minutes later, they actually regurgitate the same storyline over and over again.
Oh, right,
you see.
Okay.
There is.
I didn't know this was an open conversation.
No, this is an open. Yeah, it's an open conversation about Netflix and the movies. And
I didn't get invited to that either.
No,
Me neither.
nor did I. And they're increasingly spending more and more money on the algorithms and on they're putting things in the movies that are literally just purely there just to. It sounds weird, just to make people watch the movie rather than watch the film. If that makes any sense. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Not really. But so basically,
it's all very clever stuff.
It's putting stuff into movies that we know have got attraction to the biggest demographics of people who watch Netflix.
100%. That's all it is. They're just playing to the audience rather than making a film that may bring an audience in a slightly different direction and question. There's no questioning.
I guess if you're a streaming platform, you're going to make films for people who've subscribed to your streaming
And exactly
platform.
my point. There's a lot of people very angry about it. And my thoughts are, if you're subscribing to these platforms and you are adding to that algorithm already, we're all part of the problem in that respect as well.
You've messed up my algorithm forever. My homework you've given me. My suggested films are well out of left field.
So that gives you the sub idea about how Electric State is going in. There's a lot of money being thrown out. There's a lot of green screen. There's virtually no real special effects in this at all. So it's not set in the future. It's set in 1990. Okay, but it's an alternative 1990. Okay, so what you're doing is you're being brought back to the 90s, and just before the 90s there was a gigantic war with robots. Now before that, there was obviously robots were brought in to do all domestic chores, and then robots started to actually start to have a conscience of some kind, or to have a little bit of artificial intelligence, to the point where they didn't want to just do jobs all the time. They wanted to have their own life and so on and so forth. And so it became a gigantic war, which you only see snippets of this war. You only see tiny bits, elements of this war, and then you see the aftermath. So this film is all set in the aftermath of a robot war.
Right.
Okay. So Chris Pratt plays a character who is
a Terminator.
He is he was a soldier in the original war.
Sorry.
All out to kill all the robots. Billy, what's her name? Millie Bobby Brown. She plays a character whose younger brother is incredibly high on the intelligence level, to the point where he can't really function properly as a human being. He doesn't really communicate properly with human beings that well, because he's so intelligent. You have that problem all the time.
I get it, mate.
You get it. You get it all the time. So immediately you start to get the idea that these characters are going to start going off in different directions, and the brother disappears at one point, and what you're doing, you're following Bobby Brown's character trying to find her brother.
Okay. I see what you mean, because this sounds like The Two of Us, or The Last of Us, whatever it was called.
It does a little bit. Yes, It does have that. So what this is technically a road movie of Chris Pratt's character and Bobby Brown's character hooking up with some an assortment of different robots that have different sort of personalities, going across the country to find Bobby's brother. Simple as that. It's not a very complicated story at all. The CGI is spectacular, I have to say. It's very, very well done. And not at one point do you look at it and go, that's dodgy. Everything is done incredibly well. It's from a graphic novel, and you can really feel that graphic novel element coming all the way through this.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
there is a lot of films and programmes about the AI robots and human interaction.
It's weird that, yeah, it's almost as if there's
that one we saw at the cinema, the one with when they go to that little cabin on the lake.
That's right, yes.
And then there's the one with Megan Fox in it. She's Subservient or something it's called.
That's right.
Yeah, there's lots of.
And then you've got Companion and things like that. There's a lot like that. There's a lot of. This has got a huge cast in it. So you've got Chris Pratt, who technically plays Star-Lord. all the way through the film. I mean, his posing, his tight jeans, the music score, because obviously this is directed by the Russo brothers, so they've done all of the last three decent Marvel films. They've done End of Days and so on and so forth. So they're reproducing Chris Pratt's character in a very sort of Star-Lord sort of styling. Would you agree with that, Nikki?
Yes, I would.
Okay. You've also got Woody Harrelson in this, who plays the voice of Mr. Peanut, who's another animated character, who's a robot. I still haven't trouble pronouncing his name. How do you pronounce that name there?
Ke-Huy Quan?
Yeah, him. He is a gentleman that was originally from Indiana Jones. Indy! And he's also from Everything Everywhere All of the Time. And he plays a doctor who had something to do with the transferring of consciousness from human beings to robots.
That was the first film he'd done since Indiana Jones, wasn't it?
I think it was.
Yeah, he had
bonkers.
He had a bit of a break.
Absolutely bonkers.
He did X-Men in 2000.
Oh, did he? I didn't realise that.
He did the stunts.
You've also got Stanley Tucci in this as well.
Oh, well.
And you've got Holly Hunter. It's a massive cast. There's thrown, as I've pointed out to you many times already, there's thrown a lot of money in this. There's virtually... I felt there was no real emotional input into it. It was literally just plot after... It was just scene after scene after scene. Yeah, it was very robotic, exactly. Nikki, would you like to interject and add anything to this, please?
Not really. I think pretty much the same. I did like how it did actually feel like you were in the 90s. I also find it ironic that Millie Bobby Brown is born in 2004 and she's in a film where I know that happened in the whatever it was she was in when she played Seven, but Stranger Things or whatever, because she was in the 80s.
Well, she's been backlashing against about comments about her dressing too old for her age, hasn't she, in the press recently?
She's like 21 and everyone's saying she looks in her 30s.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, not really too much different.
Okay.
It was the geek in me, the Red Dwarf fan in me, loved the fact that total immersion videos were in there and involved.
Yes, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of the headsets of people actually projecting their personality into walking robots or actually going around attacking other robots. So there's a lot of that going on there. The soundtrack is spectacular. It's like you would do with any Russo brothers movie. You've got Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, you've got The Clash, you've got Al Green, you've got Judas Priest, and then they finish the film off with Oasis of Wonderwall as well. And then they finish it off with Flaming Lips, with one of my favourite tracks, You See Me Battle to the Pink Robots, which is a beautiful track. So the costumes just reek 1990s. There's a lot of big cargo pants. There's lots of 90s hair. They're very, very cleverly used 90s music all the way through this. So you've got a weird mixture of something that's really, really familiar from a 1990s point of view. And I think you like that because you love your 1990s movies, and it does have a 1990s vibe to it. But it's just no meat on the bone. That's the only thing you're lacking with it, really.
Okay.
In a very similar way that you had an issue with Black Bag, I would have exactly the same issue with the Electric
How long does this run? It sounds like this is a big film.
It's a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
It's a big 2-hour movie. There's a and it doesn't need to be 2 hours. It's literally just 2 hours of them travelling from one part to the other. There's lots of nods to Star Wars, lots of nods to Ready Player One.
Well, I was going to say Ready Player One, you're talking about the headsets.
100%. Yeah, there's all that going on there.
A bit of a pastiche of lots of different films, doesn't it?
And there's a lovely little nod to Poison Ivy, where Bobby Brown's hair is blonde, and that's a homage to when Drew Barrymore was in playing Poison Ivy.
Oh yeah.
As well. And so I think the 90s vibe kind of pulls it out and actually saves the film. If it didn't have that, I think it would be terrible. Because you have that familiarity with it. I think the music...
Stanley Tucci not save it for you? He normally saves everything for you. I thought he'd go Oscars.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But I think for the first time, I've seen Stanley Tucci play such a caricature of a of a baddie, to the point where there's a lot of ham involved with it.
Second time you've seen him play a hammy character.
Oh, I like him. It wasn't too bad. I'm giving it a 6.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Nikki, do you have any facts for us?
Yes, I do. So judging from photos taken while filming on location, this will be the first Russo brothers film since You, Me and Dupree, which was 2006, to be shot on 35mm film.
There's a real trend back to
There
35
is,
mil,
isn't there?
which is
Yeah.
nice.
When one of the characters goes to Greaser's diner to try and order something to eat, do you remember that bit?
Yep.
There's a specials board that suggests the customer has a bite of pie. Do you know how much they were charging for it?
It's pie, isn't it?
Yeah, 3.1415 and blah, 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 blah.
I like little touches like that.
It was filmed under the working title of Stormwind.
What a horrible name for a film.
We've all had Stormwind though. Normally comes
Yeah.
after Curry, doesn't it?
It's the 16th film in history to cost $300 million or more.
Ah.
I won't read you all
So
of the
I
other
wasn't
ones.
correct.
No, so it is quite unusual.
It's quite spenny.
Yeah.
What else? Whenever a drone's heads up display is shown, the sound effect is the same as the Terminator's heads up display from the Terminator franchise.
Nice homage to that.
The mall used to keep the robots safe was actually in a suburb of Atlanta, Georgia. It opened in 1965 and closed in 2020 before being demolished mid-2024. It had previously been used in episodes of Loki and Cobra Kai, as well as a Fear Street trilogy and feature film Civil War, The Mule and Zombieland, Double Tap. And Michelle Yeoh,
Civil War, isn't that one with Smoky Boy out of Narcos in it?
Is it?
Yeah.
Pablo Picasso.
Yeah, him, yeah, exactly. Oh,
haven't
Pablo.
I haven't heard that fact.
Haven't you?
before.
I might bring it up later.
And Michelle Yeoh was originally cast but had to drop out due to scheduling conflicts. The role was reworked and her former co-star, Ki Hai Kwan, took over.
Oh, nice. So all in all, I mean, I think it's one of these films that you're going to be able to put as exactly what they're making it for. I think it's one of these films you're going to be able to put on it's a Sunday afternoon movie. You'd watch it when you're having your Sunday roast or preparing your Sunday roast, and you'd watch the rest of it. Peter, you got a question or a comment?
Yeah. Nikki, what would you score this film?
I was waiting for that. I was going to give it a 7.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
So that makes it a 6.8.
Yeah.
Nice. 6.8.
Doesn't make the board.
Doesn't make the board.
Nope.
They should have spent a little
Neither does Black Bag.
bit more
350 on
money
it.
3.14.
So there you go. So that's our review of Black Bag and also Electric State. So you've got a home and a cinema review this week. Peter McPete.
Hi.
Hi.
Homework time.
We need another homework review off you, please.
It's not homework time.
Isn't it? No, it's not. I know exactly what time it is. It is time for... I'm going to do a theme tune for
Why
it.
don't you just let the producer produce and just shut up for a minute? How about that?
It's Nikki's sequel.
Thank you.
Thanks. So this time last year was week 21.
Right.
You went to see Immaculate and scored it 5.8.
Oh, God, it's shit.
And Peter said, I think the score on IMDb at the time was around 5.6 or 5.7.
Okay.
And Peter said, we're getting good at this after 21 weeks, aren't we?
Ah.
Because your score was so close.
Yeah.
And I seem to remain quite close to the general public's
You
view
do.
on the film scores. And you don't.
Not at all.
You
Leave
said
that.
it was a really good rent-at-home horror, but don't go just to look at Sydney Sweeney's bangers. It's available on Prime, YouTube, Google Play, and Apple and the Sky. Peter's first 2 lines were that the opening of the film was really stressful. She's lighting matches, which is the stupidest thing to do if you're running out of air.
Oh, yeah.
And your second line was great start, none in a box.
None in a box.
Week 21 it was, and June 2 was at number 1.
Oh.
Pretty Little Letters was at number 2.
That was a good film.
Will that be shown at the Bookhouse Cinema at some
I think
point?
it might be. I think that is a Bookhouse Cinema movie, I think.
I
Yes.
think so too. Peter also said and asked if it was the start of the new Oscars campaign, and the film Immaculate was actually in 18, and you went to see it at the cinema, and all the trailers were for cartoons. as the school holidays were coming up.
Yes, I remember that. It was so
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah,
it
you
was
kept
very,
saying how
very
weird
odd.
it was.
And I've changed my opinion. I think the only reason you should go and see that film is for Sydney Sweeney.
So thank you very much,
That's
Nikki's
okay.
sequel.
That was brilliant. That was well
Thank you.
worth interrupting James for.
I mean, it's always worth interrupting James.
100%.
Yeah.
Talking of which,
Talking of which, over to you, PT McPete, and your homework section.
Okay, so this I watched the Snowpiercer from 2013, which is a 15, runs for 2 hours and 6 minutes.
Yes.
And you kind of set it ad hoc last week.
I did.
Because we'd seen Mickey 17, which is a Bong Joon-ho film. He was the director.
Good
And
pronunciation.
we're also discussing Parasite, which was another one of his films.
right.
And I said that I hadn't seen Snowpiercer, and you were like, you have to see this because it is one of his triptych, and you know, if you see these 3 films, you can see the continuation from this to that to this. I want to discuss that with you today
Go for it.
because I don't understand what you mean by that whatsoever.
Okay.
So I saw this film,
Yes.
and basically the concept of this film
Yes.
is that we're in a kind of post-apocalyptic world.
That's right.
And the post-apocalypse has basically covered the entire planet of Earth. I don't know why I said it like that, but
With ice.
and snow.
no, it could have been a planet. There's other
It
planets.
could have been, yeah,
to
but
be
then
fair.
it was like I questioned myself halfway through that, and then wanted to let everyone know that it was actually Earth.
Yeah.
Never
question
There was a
yourself,
guy who actually, when the snow fell and was created,
Yeah.
decided to build a train
Yes.
which circumnavigates the entire globe, and it looks like it's going in a straight line like that.
does.
It doesn't, but they show you a map of it, and it goes
Yeah.
for all of you watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
For all of those you haven't.
You've got the special sound effect for it.
Yeah, you
That's
obviously
fine.
know that there's an intercontinental rail which goes like all over the place and blah blah blah. Now this train it's not an ordinary train.
No.
It's a very very long train.
It pierces
and
through the snow.
It pierces through the snow, which is a very very good way to name a film.
Thank you very
isn't it?
much.
It does exactly what it says
Thank you,
on
as
the
if he's
planet
named it.
of Earth. Yeah, well done, James. Good film naming.
Thank you.
Um,
Anytime.
the very very long train is segmented into different class carriages,
Yes.
and those class carriages are actually demographic class carriages
They
as
are.
opposed to first class, second class, third class. So you have what's his name? His name is Chris Evans.
That's right.
The original
Not the DJ.
Captain America and the Torch.
That's right.
And we've got Jamie Bell, who are kind of like close buddies, who are in the lower class.
He's good at
third
dancing, Jamie is.
class. Yeah, he is, absolutely. He hasn't done it for a while. He should bring it back.
Should do.
And they're basically in the low class carriages, and they are basically, there is no separation between the thousands and thousands of people in the back bit.
Squalor.
It's in squalor, and they're fed these jelly protein blocks as their food.
They're wearing
and-
rags.
Yeah, and they're dirty, and it's just like that.
John Hurt's there.
Yeah, absolutely.
with his
Yeah, John
glasses
Hurt's
on.
there. Yeah, exactly right. And he's kind of like this. What's the dude from the Matrix?
He's a
called?
wise old man, isn't he?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's like Ben Kenobi.
He is.
Yeah, and then basically the concept of this film
Mm-hmm.
is that there are it's better and better to be further up the train, isn't
right,
it?
yes.
And the film is based on a
Graphic novel.
revolt.
A graphic novel.
No, that's wasn't what I was going to say.
Oh, okay.
No, I was going to say that it was a revolt.
Yes.
And so Chris Evans' character Curtis basically wants to get right to the front of the train,
Mm-hmm.
and he wants John Hurt's character to basically become the new leader of the train.
Yes.
Because what he's going to do is he's going to turn it into a socialist heaven for everyone.
Communism for all.
Exactly right.
Exactly.
There we go. That's the film.
That is a film.
Yeah, and I don't get any similarities from the style of it or the direction of it. So this film has got horrible CGI in it. It's got really terrible CGI.
Yeah, the CGI.
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because it does actually kind of weirdly fit in with the whole kind of
I know what you mean.
look of the film.
Yeah.
There's some really, really good bits and really enjoyable elements to this film. I like the whole kind of progression through and the different carriages, and Tilda Swinton's character.
She's amazing.
She's amazing, but she's always amazing, isn't
Yeah.
she? She plays this real northern
Yes.
kind of just a
Cartoon pantomime baddie.
Yeah, she's like Cruella de Vil.
100%.
She's just like that, and she's like that kind of like, you peasant barber people, you can
Yes.
go and bugger off and eat your bloody cockroach bars.
Yes.
And that's
was amazing.
That's thanks very much. I was
pretty
quite
much
chuffed for that. So she's this character, and like so it's a film that people should definitely watch. But I'm really interested what similarities you got from the three films, because Parasite to me is a masterpiece of a film, and that kind of like really subtle elegance of the intrusion of the wealthy family by the poor family. Okay, they got that similarity, I guess, but that's not really enough to kind of compare the two movies. I don't think, but it has got this kind of like real balance of thriller and comedy in Parasite. Yeah. Nikky 17 for me was a bit more of a kind of a goofy kind of
100%.
kind of a bit more of it felt like an adaptation of a graphic novel type film. Yeah. And this to me was very, very different, and this felt very much to me like a TV movie. Yeah,
very action, very sort of low key in it on the spectrum of intelligence, but definitely quite clever still.
So what was the directorial similarities that you saw between the three films?
So for me personally, I felt that Snowpiercer was almost a dry run of Nikky 17.
Really?
I really felt
as in how?
I really felt that.
Character-wise, or
but you look at the main character and you look at the journey that he's making. So there's instantly a journey going on there. There's the association of the class system, and you're working against the class system, and you're working towards a certain level. You're almost like going against the higher establishment. There's also the continuous reference to rationing of food all the way through it as well, with both Nikky 17 and and that as well. And then you're following the journey of in all three films. You're following the journey of people of a lower class, lower standing in society, trying to work their way up bit by bit.
Okay.
And to me, it's like a social commentary. That's how I felt it was in all three films.
There is that in all three films.
Yeah,
so you're absolutely
and yet
right.
they're done from completely different angles.
Yeah.
But done from very, very cleverly. Each one is drawn a different personality out, I thought.
One thing that really irritated, but that's not a word.
It works for me, darling. Carry
It
on.
worked for me too.
Irritated me was towards the end. There was a scene where Chris Evans' character Curtis is basically standing with the sun behind him.
Yes.
And it's kind of like it's kind of he's talking to you but looking sideways on.
Yeah.
Now Chris Evans is a blonde man. Generally,
yeah,
or a mousy brown.
I think so, yeah.
And in this he's
dirty blonde.
In this he's got dark brown to black hair and beard.
He has.
In this particular scene, it's the worst dye job I've ever seen of a hair and beard ever. Like it's like patchy, and it's so bad that it actually distracts me.
Wow.
From his speech to camera. I'm just like, how can that get past?
I'll have to relook at that. And they're
just watch the last 3 or 4 minutes. It's a scene. I'm just like, he's got patches of blonde, and you can just see it's the worst dye job ever. I'm just like, how on earth does that get through the cutting room? I don't quite understand.
Right. So it sounds like you weren't overly impressed with this film.
Oh, this is the worst of, I'm going to say again, Bong Joon-ho's movies by a long, long way. But you saying what the similarities are, actually, that class battle is actually very, very prominent in all three. If we're going to tell people to watch his three movies, or those three movies which we've discussed, I don't know if there are more or not.
Oh, there is.
Which order should people watch them in terms of which is best, which is second, which is third?
Oh, well, Snowpiercer first, because obviously that's when he's practicing. I think you should watch it in the order that they've been released. Snowpiercer, Parasite to give you a more grounding and bring you back down to earth again a little bit, and then finish off Nikky 17 to have that sort of slightly slapstick, a little bit jovial, but still gives the same message across.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
That's why I do it.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And I would do Snowpiercer on a Friday night.
Okay.
I would do Parasite on a Saturday afternoon.
Oh really?
Yeah, and then I'd do Nikky 17 on a Saturday night.
I think
it's not a weekend.
I think you need to see Parasite again. I think it's a lot darker than a Saturday afternoon.
I like it.
He's also done a 2009 film called Mother. Have you seen it?
No, I don't think I have.
Ooh, might be a bit of homework for James.
Might be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that.
Okay.
Mada. Score?
Uh, 7.2.
I think that's quite high.
7.2
For you?
is good. I was going to go in the mid-60s. And actually, no, I really enjoyed it as a film.
Yeah.
Just in the category that we're talking about, I just thought it was the worst of the lot. So yeah, 7.2. Boom.
What day would you watch it?
What day would you watch it?
Yeah, did you and would you?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's a strong Thursday night film, an average Friday night.
Yeah,
film.
because it's more action than anything else, isn't it? Than anything else.
Yeah, but we don't have to just watch action on a Friday.
Not always. You can make some action on a Friday if you want to.
Well, that's a very, very flirtatious.
would you like
Look
some?
at me
Would
when
you
you're
like
saying
some
that,
facts?
Yes, please.
I'm
Chris
quite glad I've got a clipboard on my lap.
Chris Evans
Yes.
personally contacted
Not the DJ.
director
Yep.
for the audition after hearing the casting news.
And said, "Can I have a black beard in this?" And he went, "No." And he goes, "Well, how about 50-50?"
Come on, you're halfway.
And the director also first wrote the part of Mason for John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly. Who's that?
Have you seen Chicago?
No.
It's not a film.
Have you seen Step Brothers?
Yes.
He's the stepbrother. He's not Will Ferrell.
Shut your face!
No,
yes.
him.
Yeah, we
That's
should
John
know
C.
who he
Reilly,
is.
isn't
Yes. Magnolia.
Isn't that John C. Reilly?
Yeah, he was in Magnolia.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
so he's Will
Very
Ferrell's
tall.
stepbrother. So it was originally written
Curly
with
hair.
him in mind, but then
Balls on
adapted for Tilda Swinton. Though he intentionally left lines of Mason being referred to in the masculine form of the script, which show up in the movie. Peter, you
So
about
I
to say
thought,
something?
I
Don't worry
thought,
about it,
I
it
thought
was nothing of
Tandy's,
any interest.
I thought Tandy's character. If you split her character in two, Tandy Swindon.
Tilda.
Yeah, her as well. If you split her character into two, that was technically Mark and Tony.
Mark.
Yeah, I'm not going to say his. I'm not going to try to pronounce his surname.
Ruffalo.
Yeah, him as well.
Okay.
Don't you think?
I think you've just run out of steam, James. I think you were so bubbly at the beginning, and now
I
you-
was. I'm just going.
According to the filmmakers, trained babies like Yona developed animalistic hearing skills.
And were what could you do when you can see through doors?
X-ray vision.
I think we need to round this up really quickly.
I think
Is it
might
really
actually be
late?
best.
Are we recording this much
I
later?
don't
than
know.
No,
normal?
we're not actually earlier than normal.
Clairvoyant!
Jesus,
that was deep.
clairvoyant.
Yeah, clairvoyant.
that,
That's the word he was looking for.
Bloody hell,
They
that
don't
was
see
deep
through-
in there.
They don't see through doors.
What are they do in
do
this
they?
film? Let's move on.
Clairvoyants do. In Peter's world.
What's Peter's homework for next week?
District 9.
Oh no, yeah, that's been and gone. Forget it.
No, you're
I want
watching
to see
it.
the electric.
No,
thingy.
you can watch. No, District 9 is your movie.
Okay, thank you.
You're watching it.
What films are we watching next week if you're allowed back to the cinema?
I'm going to watch Black Bag. And there is something else coming out the weekend, and I'm pretty sure I should know what it is, but I can't remember what it is.
Is it
but Black...
Freakier Friday?
No, it's not that one at all. But no, definitely Black Bag, and I'll definitely try to
What
stick
else is
with
on this week? What else is coming out?
Let's have a look. There's one called The Wedding Banquet.
No, it's not that.
It's not actually saying what's coming out this week.
Okay, it will be a surprise for our listeners and viewers. And for me and for you also, Peter. Brilliant. Hey, there you go. Are we finished?
Oh, no, we've forgotten to mention something.
Yes, so on the 28th of March, we're encouraging you to join us at Bourne End Library.
You woke up again.
I
Yes,
did indeed.
suddenly.
Yes, indeed. And what's the name of the event, Peter?
You bastard.
Is it
It's the. I know. I do actually remember what it's called.
What's
it called?
It's called the Bookhouse Cinema,
the Bookhouse Cinema?
and it's in the Bourne End Library.
That's right.
And it's well, we've been asked to host a cinema,
We have.
and we've picked the movie, which is One Life, which is one of the first films that we saw and reviewed on our podcast. And we're gonna give a little talky talk before the film starts.
That's right.
You've got a beautiful concession stand, which
That's
is going
right.
to raise money for the Maidenhead Food Share.
That's right.
And we're going to ask a select few people to give us a review of the movie after it's done.
Exactly. Nikki, how would people get the tickets and how much are they?
Well, if they go over to our Facebook and Instagram page, the link is in the bio.
Is it?
It is,
Oh,
yeah.
brilliant, nice.
They
I'd
are
never have
£6. You can obviously get tickets on the door as well. Just come along and say
But there
that.
might not be any left to
There might
buy
not
them
be.
online. Or you can
Yeah.
actually walk into Bourne End Library and buy them off the counter there.
Yeah.
That'd be great. I mean, the way that I look at this is a fantastic opportunity for you to submerge yourself full of people that are just adoring cinema much as we do.
Yeah, or if you just want to get out at home.
Exactly, on a Friday night.
Yes, it's cheaper than going to the real cinema.
It is indeed. So, Friday the 28th of March, join us at the Born Library. That'd be fantastic.
The movie kicks off at 7:30, so get there for 7.
It does indeed. Peter, would you like to papa us out?
Papa, 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 papa. It's a different one.
Popcorn Pundits Week 73.
That's right.
You can also listen to us anywhere you get your podcasts, and you can watch us on YouTube.
Oh, they sound really
Producer
disappointed
sticks in.
with my
I like that.
cars.
Yeah,
I thought
exactly.
it was quite different and nice. Apparently not.